Finally, Minister, I'd like to address those who provide the service themselves, the service providers, those that invest in the enterprise of providing childcare services. It is not enough to invest in the provision of childcare for parents alone or in isolation without indeed a significant investment or strategic engagement or approach with those who in a whole provide a consistent service to the children in this society. And if we were to do so, we would ignore the research that is there that devalues the contribution, the commitment, the education that's provided by service providers in our community. But one of the key problems for the childcare sector today is the poor pay and benefits that they have to offer their workers. That is despite increased regulation, increased workload, increased requirement for training. The average early educators in this country get paid less than €9.50 per hour. And that's unsurprisingly a situation that exists in this country, despite the fact that they have to hold significant qualifications, diplomas, VTAC, and are now in a situation where they're not financially rewarded for their endeavours to provide a qualification and support for childhood services in this country. The average size of a preschool service in Ireland today is 5 staff members per service provision. And as a ratio of the governed regulation requirements, small to medium services struggle every day to meet these targets because you have set out a situation where the difficulties with labour costs, the difficulties as had been outlined earlier on, and the difficulties with rates, the department failing to demonstrate any meaningful engagement, particularly through you, Minister, to provide for any leadership in terms of direction on those who are grossly underpaid in the service, and those who provide a service who invest significantly at the great cost of their own domestic circumstances. So, Minister, unless the government commits itself directly in early childhood years, we are going to postpone a significant situation where we're going to see a time bomb in the context of the education of our children. And that's why we are asking you, Minister, to positively consider directly intervening to ensure that the investment that is required for early education in this country is provided in the Learner Fund. Can I conclude, Minister, by stating that a universal system of in-service training is required to be established for the provision of qualification and practices in terms of professional development of staff within the childhood services. And it is, I believe, a genuine attempt to be progressive, to provide within the sector a dialogue, a recognition of the qualification of professional workers within childcare. And Minister, I think it's required and incumbent on you to immediately engage with a dialogue with the childcare services in this country, and to ensure that we don't have a fragmented approach that has failed in respect to years upon years of commitment and investment, where we've had successive governments successfully investing into this area that will soon be lost to society by your inaction and the lack of leadership.